What is up, guys? Today I kind of want to talk a little bit about my pick journey and maybe your guys' journey to find your perfect pick. So, I started playing guitar probably just for fun, 12, 13 years ago or something like that. And the biggest question to me was always picks, man. There's so many different variety of picks out there and what you could possibly want to use, what feels good, what sounds good, what your favorite guitarists play. So I kind of want to give you a rundown of kind of like my evolution of the main picks that I've used over the years and kind of what I've started with and what I kind of gravitated towards. So I think with a lot of people, we all start with these Dunlop Tortexes. This is a pretty standard pick. .73. I know a lot of people play with .60s. The standard is like a .88, I think, I want to say. But the 7.3 is pretty much, I think, the first actual pick that I bought myself that wasn't given to me or wasn't laying around the house by my dad. So, yeah, let's hear what she sounds like. So, my biggest issue with these picks, really big. Um, I don't think that's a concern for me now, but I think back then this was kind of the standard, and it's pretty much what everybody was playing, back in the mid, 2000s, whatever, all the metalcore bands and everything, they were using these picks. So I kind of gravitated towards it. Uh, Come to find out that I wanted a thicker pick. I started playing more deathcore, more slammy stuff. I had a stronger pick attack. Now, I know people say when you're playing like deathcore and stuff like that, you want a thinner pick because you want to be able to glide through the strings. Me, I like a thicker pick. I like the thickness. I like feeling that there's a little bit more something to grab onto. So that one was out of here. And then I introduced myself to the big stubby pick. Now, this is a really big difference between that and this pick. Which I should probably grab that so you can see the difference. So, if you look at the thickness on this pick of the .73, I said it was, and then you look at the thickness, the big stubby, huge difference when it comes to thickness. So, side by side, it got just a little bit smaller, just a little bit smaller. It's not as, wide, and that out of here. It's not as wide. It was looking for the thickness, and it's got these cool, I don't know if you can see it, but kind of where your thumb and your finger sits in it. Yeah. So let's go ahead and what this sounds like. So I come to realize that I love my pinch harmonics. This pick is very, very hard to hit nice, clean, high pinch harmonics with. Um, and I found out, and I think this is a 3.0 thickness. So, and I found out it was too heavy. I had found that I wasn't getting enough grip on it. Even with the indentions in here, it still wasn't working for me. So I went for the Ernie Ball Prodigies, the 2.0s. Now, what caught my attention about these are a little bit smaller than the big stubbies. These are 2.0s, so they're just a tad bit thinner. But what I really liked is how sharp the point was for the precision picking. So, and there's no like texture on it besides the font, but it's got like this really, really smooth, almost like I don't really know how to explain it. Kind of like a rock feel to it. So let's go ahead and listen to her and see what she sounds like. So with this pick, I noticed I loved how pointy it was. I loved the size of it for the time that I was using it, but my right hand gets pretty sweaty when I play, and it just was not. It wasn't good for me. It kept slipping. There was times where I was playing really aggressively, and I would drop it. So that was out the window. And then after that, I was like, I seen these picks by Fender. I've never been a Fender pick guy. They've always just been really basic, like medium heavy picks or whatever. But then I seen this offset pick. Now I want to say these are maybe 1.0. It doesn't say a size on it. I can't remember. But I thought they were cool because they're offset. And kind of with how I hold my pick, I kind of tuck it back in. The offset was like perfect for how I play. I was like, oh man, these are going to be really nice. There's a little, you can't really see it on camera, but there's a little finger indention in the back where your finger sits in there, in that pocket. So ergonomically, you think, man, this pick's going to be great. So let's go ahead and hear it real quick. But I come to find out with this pick, it's very, very slippery, and they wear down very, very fast. For some reason, with the way that I hold a pick and the offset of the pick itself, I scrape a lot when I play. So it just doesn't really work for me. I wish I could find an old one that I've beat. I mean, I tore it up in probably about a week. So I went from this to this guy. Now, this is when my thickness size kind of gets consistent. I kind of figured out I like that 1.2 to 1.38 range. So I moved on to these Dunlop Flows. Now, these I was thrilled because it had a little bit different shape at the top. It was a little bit more, sharper edges at the top, and it's got these texts on it, and that provides really good grip. Pretty pointy, but as you can tell, it's a pretty decently sized, wide, and long pick. When I'm holding it, it sticks out a lot. So let's go ahead and see what it sounds like. this pick. This was my main pick for, I don't know, probably 6 or 7 months, where I just religiously always grab for this pick. These picks are phenomenal. If you like a bigger pick, you like a little bit of sharper of a pick, these, you cannot go wrong with these. So I still use this pick to this day for some guitars. So now we will move on to another very, very, very common pick, the Dunlop Gator. Now this is a 1.14, so it's a little bit lighter than I was using previously for a few months. But what I liked about these is the selling point for the grip for the material. There's like a coating on the actual pick itself that's supposed to provide grip when your fingers start getting sweaty. So let's go ahead and check it out. And of course, it's a little bit smaller than the other one in comparison. So I'll hold these up, you can't really, no, I guess they're about the same size. This is just a little bit more pointy edge. It's got, yeah, whatever. That doesn't matter. It holds about the same. So let's hear this one. So what I found out about this pick, I didn't use it very long. The thickness, and I don't care for the Gator picks. So yeah, I don't hate this pick, but I definitely don't reach for it anymore. And then I moved on to John Petrucci's Jazz 3. This was the first jazz pick I ever tried. And I'm going to say, when I got a hold of this pick, immediately fell in love with this pick. The size, the shape, his little signature and stuff on it provides just enough grip so you're not losing it in those shreddy situations. The pinches are great on this pick. Like I said, I feel like the smaller pick you start getting, the easier it is to really dig in with your thumb, to really give it that expression. But that's just my opinion on those. But this pick, I will always gravitate towards and I will always grab. So now we're going to move on to the Mick Thompson Jazz 3. Now, this pick I was very interested in because I was still trying to decide if I liked the whole oversized pick size of the Petrucci. But I wanted something that was a little bit sharper on the end. And I found the Mick Thompson Jazz 3. Now, I just want to say, in comparison, this thing is tiny. It is absolutely just, it's tiny all the way around. But this pick provides grip unlike I have ever felt from any pick ever. The whole pick is essentially like this textured material. So yeah, let's go ahead and see what she sounds like. So I had come to find out I've been playing with this pick for probably about a month at a certain point, and I was like, okay. So in 2 in a row, I've had great experience with Jazz 3's picks. Dunlop Jazz 3's. My only issue with this pick is how small it is. But I do love this. I love this pick dearly. It's just a little bit smaller for my liking. Now we are at my probably forever pick. And this is the Jason Richardson Dunlop Jazz 3. This thing has everything that I want to pick. It has the sharpness of the Thompson. It has the top shape of like the flow pick from them, but it's a lot smaller. But it's a tad bigger. If you can see the outline of the Jason Richardson pick, it's just a tad bigger than the Thompson up there in the thumb portion where I hold it. This thing, man, I've had this pick for about a week now, and it is the only pick that I have touched in the last week. And typically I've always gone back to the Petrucci pick and always jammed on that. But this pick, man, this pick is perfect in every single way, shape, and form. For me personally, I can still, the precision, the point on this pick for precision is phenomenal. And then if I just want to get down and dirty, it's just, man, this pick, Jason Richardson did a phenomenal job with them creating this pick, because this is probably going to be my go-to pick for a long time. Now, I do want to say, and I didn't mention this, the Mick Thompson, I think, was a 1.38. The Petrucci was a 1.38. And this Jason Richardson is a 1.38. So I'm literally right. 1.38 is my go-to pick. And this size, this shape, the Jazz 3. If you have not tried a Jazz 3 pick, they sell variety packs. They sell variety John Petrucci packs. I'm telling you, these have been a game changer for me for any guitar. It doesn't matter if I'm playing extended range. It doesn't matter if I'm playing a Floyd Rose guitar that's set really low. It doesn't matter if I'm playing an LP. These things are phenomenal. But it is always to each their own, and you just got to try. Hopefully, you heard what you wanted to hear. Well, you found out what you wanted to hear in this video, and I can help you pick out your favorite pick, or just try something new, man. We're so, picks are not cheap, depending on the pick you buy. And if you buy a whole pack of 6 and then you end up don't liking them, you're out of $13. So, yeah, guys, I appreciate you stopping by. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Let me know down in the comments what your favorite pick is and what you are using currently in your rig, or if you use different picks, different thicknesses when you're recording, or just playing different guitars. All right, guys. Peace.